It's one of the most exciting times in your life, a time to explore, learn, grow, and just be free. No mom and dad. We're talking about embarking on the journey as a college freshman.
But with easy access to cell phone cameras and oversharing on social media, you want to make sure you don't do anything that will haunt you for the rest of your life. Joining us with tips on how not to get arrested on campus is criminal defense attorney and founder of the website called arrestedoncampus.com, Jerod Gunsberg. Good to have you back. Welcome.
Good morning.
You came here in the spring talking about your Coachella website. It was called arrestedатcoachella.com. Now you have this new website. Tell us about it.
Yeah, this similar to the Arrested at Coachella website, there's been an uptick in campus crime the past few years, and nationally and in California they're starting to crack down on it. So I wanted to put together a website that made people aware of the issues, and like the Coachella website, in a fun, entertaining way that people could understand, but still got some serious issues.
Speaking of fun and entertaining,
boy.
What we've decided to do is go through some scenarios with some actors right here at KTLA.
Let's not call them actors.
Let's look at
That's
this
an insult to
scenario.
real actors.
Jerod, you're going to give us your take on it, okay?
Give it to me, I want.
What's up, ladies?
Hey! Aren't you a senior?
Sure am.
Well, I'm a sophomore.
Yeah? You guys like to have fun? You want to party?
Is that like code for sex and drugs?
You know it.
That's illegal. You're under arrest.
Cops? At college parties? Is that allowed?
Cops at college parties, undercover cops.
It
Is that
can
a thing?
happen. It is not the norm, but I have seen it happen, again, with this uptick in campus crime. And police do not have to tell you that they are undercover cops. It's one of the biggest misconceptions out there. There's a myth that if you ask somebody if they're a police officer, they have to admit it. That's not true. How would they ever conduct an undercover operation?
Right.
So yes,
Okay.
there can be undercover cops on campuses, and there are.
And what he did was illegal because, I mean, he really didn't.
At that stage, I would like that case if somebody was arrested and charged just for saying that. Usually, you actually have to have a transaction for narcotics or drugs in place.
All right, let's look at our next scenario. Let's take a look at the video.
Whoa, pledge, front and center.
Yes, big brother.
You know, bro, we have epic parties here. We have the finest women, and we rule this yard. How much do you want to be a part of this fraternity?
Like the sun and the moon, big
right.
brother.
All right, it begins with this one mug, one gulp, or you're out.
Is that okay?
And again, these are the KTLA Morning News staffers who are playing these scenarios. So underage drinking, is that what we're getting to here?
I think there's two issues in that clip. The first is underage drinking. Obviously, if somebody's pledging a fraternity and a sorority and they're underage, under 21, that is a crime in California. That is a misdemeanor to furnish alcohol to a minor. The other issue is hazing. 9 years ago, a student at Chico State died after drinking too much water and having to do calisthenic exercises. And California passed an anti-hazing bill after that. And if, no matter what's in that mug, if you drink too much of it and it could cause serious bodily injury, you could be charged with a misdemeanor. If it does cause serious bodily injury, it could be a felony. So hazing is serious business.
Yep,
Okay,
sure is.
let's take a look at this one.
Hey, does anybody know who left this on my bed?
Sunshine, I'm so glad you got it.
Yeah, and all the other creepy stuff you've been leaving. How are you getting in my room?
There's no lock Love doesn't have the key to, but I do try to leave when you're in class.
You know my schedule?
I know everything about you.
Should I be scared?
I'm seeing stalking and breaking and entering, Jerod. Is that the case here?
Very good lawyer issue spotting right there. Yes. There's two things. Yeah, you can't go into anybody's room without permission. At the very least, it's trespassing. At worst, it's burglary. As far as the stalking goes, that doesn't rise to the stalking, but it's definitely creepy, and it's on a bad road. Colleges now have a zero-tolerance policy for any threatening or sexual harassment type behavior. So even if that particular scenario doesn't lead to criminal charges, it could lead to serious administrative consequences at the school, discipline, maybe expulsion.
All right, let's take a look at our next scenario.
Hey, I just wanted to say thanks again for letting my friends hang out in my dorm room on a school night.
Of course, as long as you have prior approval, it's all good.
So, what kind of approval do I need to get into your room?
That's not okay, is it?
Well, more creepiness. Is it okay to get frisky with the RA, so the resident advisor for a dorm?
RAs are generally also students, so as long as it's a consensual relationship and there's no university rules prohibiting that, that shouldn't be a problem. But this touches on a bigger issue about consent. California on campuses recently passed what's called an affirmative consent law. So we all know no means no, something everybody's aware of when it comes to sexual contact. But now on campuses, only yes means yes, and there has to be consent every step of the way. Silence doesn't mean consent. Lack of resistance doesn't mean consent. Intoxication certainly doesn't mean consent. And again, even if it doesn't rise to criminal charges, it could get you kicked out of school.
Okay. Here's another one for you. Let's take a look.
Thank you so much for taking me to Shakespeare in the Park. That was so fun.
Oh, you're welcome.
I loved it.
You bring out the thespian in me.
Well.
You're not like some of those other girls who like to get drunk and crazy.
To be or not to be?
Romeo, Romeo, where you at, Romeo?
Bubble, toilet trouble.
Witch.
Let's show them what we've got.
Oh my gosh. Is that legal?
Are they allowed to do that?
Okay.
Are they allowed to do what?
Public, apparently this would be public intoxication and getting naked in public areas. Thankfully, we didn't show that part, but what happens if that goes down?
Public intoxication in California is a misdemeanor, alcohol or drugs. It will likely get you a night to try out, sober up, and a trip to court. Public nudity is interesting. If it has lewd intent or intent to offend another person, and that offend doesn't necessarily mean what we think it does under the law, you could be charged with a misdemeanor, but more importantly, you could be required to register as a sex offender in California for the rest of your life, even for a misdemeanor. Wow. So keep it on.
All right, last but not least, let's take a look at this.
Wait, Missy. You forgot to fill this out. Plus, I have a few more questions for you.
Okay.
Okay, now when you say you need a student loan to help with utilities, what do you mean?
I mean, I need to utilize my party with a keg and some jungle juice.
Whoa, okay. Well, you know, you didn't fill out when you can pay the loan back.
Pay the loan back? Do I have to?
Whoa, that's not cool.
It's free money, right?
No, that's not cool. Mr. Gunsberg, read this lady the riot act.
Okay. Is it okay to lie on your application, especially for student loans?
Well, if you have a federal student loan, which the vast majority of students do, on that master promissory note you sign, it's under the penalty of perjury, and all costs have to be for educational purposes, anything you spend from the loan. You could argue that a keg party is a critical educational experience, but I don't think the government's going to agree with you. Also, you have to pay the student loans back. They can't be discharged in bankruptcy, and I'm sure most people watching this realize they stay with you for a long time. So borrow wisely.
Jerod, thanks for playing along with us.
Sure, my pleasure.
Thank you very much.
We're happy to have you, and we apologize.
The website is called arrestedoncampus.com. For more information on Jerod, you can also go to gunsberglaw.com. Thanks again.
Thank you.
And thanks to our staff for the great acting job.
Bravo.
UTLA Morning News players once again coming through. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.